What's going on, everybody, and welcome to my Premier League predictions for game week 19. Thick and fast, lots of games over the Christmas period. I watched a little bit of the Tottenham West Ham Carabao Cup game yesterday. Good game, I thought. Also the Liverpool game going to penalties, and Chelsea obviously grabbing a victory as well. So a few good games in the Cup yesterday. But getting into this week's fixtures on Boxing Day. From Boxing Day to the Monday, we've got a lot of games, so let's get into it. First up, we've got Liverpool versus Leeds. I'm going to go with a Liverpool win. This one is on BT Sport at 12:30 on the Sunday. And I think that Liverpool will just have too much quality. I think Leeds are struggling a lot, and I think it'll be a routine win for Liverpool. So I'm going to go 4-0 to Liverpool, because I feel like Leeds are just far too open how they play. And against a team like Liverpool, you're going to get punished, because any little mistake you do, they're going to counter on it. So I feel like Liverpool will get a routine win, and I'm going to go for a lot of goals, a lopsided victory, 4-0 Liverpool. Wolves, Watford, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Wolves win. I feel like Wolves are tough to beat at home, one of the toughest in the league to beat at home. And I think I do like Watford and how they play. I like a few of their players, but I feel like Wolves will just be too hard to break down for them. And I think that Wolves will do enough to get the 3 points. I'm going to go 2-0 to Wolves. Burnley versus Everton. It's going to be an interesting one. I think it'll be a tight one. They're both quite boring to watch. And I think that Benitez might get the sack soon because of the run that Everton are on. And I like Benitez, but he is struggling there. Obviously, they're missing Calvert-Lewin, which doesn't help. Richarlison's been out with bans and stuff as well. And they're struggling. And I feel Burnley are that stalwart in the league. They're like the modern Stoke, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean in terms of staying up for so long in this league, in the style that they do. So I feel that Burnley might nick this one, so I'm going to go 1-0 to Burnley. Next up, Man City versus Leicester. I think City are just in autopilot mode right now. It doesn't seem to matter who they put out on the field, they get the result. And they're just relentless. And I feel that they've had a few moments in the season where they should have got a result and they haven't. But at this moment in time, I think that they are the form team, even above Liverpool. So I think City will pick up the 3 points in this. I don't feel like Leicester are having a great season. And I feel they might get a goal in this one, Leicester. But I think City will just have too much. So I'm going to go 3-1 City. Next up, we've got Norwich, Arsenal. Gilmour at Norwich, fantastic player, should be playing at a better team than Norwich. And Pukki has been very wasteful this season in the games I've seen him. If he'd have scored more of them, obviously they'd be doing better. And I feel a lot of it falls down to Pukki, because he's missed a lot of chances that I feel that he should be scoring, which could then lead to getting a point or 3 points here and there. So Arsenal, one of my favourite teams to watch now. They're not the team that they were in terms of struggling for so long since Wenger went. They finally have fight about them. They finally have end product, and they still play nice football. So they're probably my favourite team to watch at the moment. And I think that they will get a win in this one. So I'm going to go 2-0. Tottenham versus Palace. A tight one to call again. I think Spurs will edge it. I'm going to go for 1-0. But I do like what Vieira is doing at Palace right now. But they're a little bit inconsistent. And I think Conte is finding a way to get results at the moment with Tottenham, even if they're not playing great. So I think Tottenham will nick that, and I'm going to go 1-0. Next up, West Ham versus Southampton. I think West Ham will get the 3 points in this. Southampton are not a bad side, but they're not majorly exciting. And another problem similar to Palace, they're inconsistent. 1 week they'll turn up and be really good, and then they go on 2 or 3 weeks where they're not, and then they'll get another win again after that. So it's just a consistency thing with them, I think. And they do struggle a little bit in depth of quality in their team. But when you have the likes of like Ward-Prowse for set pieces, you can always be dangerous. But being at West Ham and how West Ham are playing, I feel like it'll be a routine win. So I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham. Aston Villa versus Chelsea. I think this will be a tough one for Chelsea. I think Villa are on form at the moment. Gerrard's doing a fantastic job there. And Chelsea is struggling right now. Thomas Tuchel is going for a rough patch. But they're not, like I said before, they're not losing a lot of games, but they're not winning as many as they were. So people are now like, oh, he needs to leave and he needs to go, which is ridiculous to me, because he's a quality manager, one of the best in the world for me. And every team goes through a rough patch, and I feel like that's what Chelsea are doing right now. They've had a lot of injuries. They've been forced to play games through the COVID when other teams aren't, and they're going ahead and doing it. So they get all my respect for that, because a lot of teams wouldn't go through that and do that. So they get a lot of respect from me, Chelsea. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. I think it'd be tight. But I think it's going to be tough going to Villa with Gerrard there in charge and the fans behind them. So I'm going to go for a draw in that one. Possibly Villa to nick it, but I'll go 1-1. Brighton versus Brentford, the last game on Sunday. I think there could be a lot of goals in this one. I think it could be an exciting game. I think it'd be quite open by the way both teams play. So I'm going to go for quite a few goals, and I'm going to go 2-2. And then lastly, guys, on the Monday, we got Newcastle versus Manchester United. Newcastle struggling a lot. I've said that I felt that they would stay up, but seeing them recently, I'm starting to have my doubts now. I think it's going to be a struggle for them. It's interesting with the situation with them, with all the money and the takeover they have, because they're going to struggle to attract players that are going to want to come to a team that are struggling like that, and especially if they go down and get relegated, because it's even more less incentive to join them, other than working hard and achieving something in a lower league. But a lot of star players ain't going to want to go to them lower leagues. So it's interesting with Newcastle, but a little bit struggling now. I've said that I felt that they would stay up, but there's still a long way to go, obviously. But I feel like the way things are going with them at the moment, it's going to be hard for them to pick up points. I see Manchester United grabbing a win in this one. We're very inconsistent at the moment. We're winning games where we probably don't deserve to be. I feel against Norwich, they played the better football, and we got the penalty, and I feel like we nicked that win, which we didn't deserve, really. So we got a habit of doing that, and we've done it a lot under Ollie, and it seems to be the trend still. And I think we'll do it again in this one. I wouldn't be surprised, even though what I've just said about Newcastle, if Newcastle play just as well as we do in that game, but we nick it, because that's what we do. But I want to see us dominating games. I want to see us having a style of play. It's going to take time under Ranić, and I have faith in it still. It's very early. I feel like it will come. But we had that initial boost when he came in, Ranić, and it has died down since. But I have faith, and I think the players will answer back. It's just as similar to, not in terms of what Chelsea are doing, but I feel that rough patch United have been going through that a lot longer. And it's just more of a restructuring phase right now for United, so we got to be patient, but I do think we'll scrape a win in this one, and I'm going to go for 2-1 to Manchester United. So that is it for this week's Premier League predictions, guys. Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope you have a really wicked Christmas. Enjoy it with your family and your loved ones. I hope you have a good one. As I said, enjoy the football, and I'll be back shortly. I'm probably going to do my predicted lineup for the Newcastle game for Man United. I would go with I'm going to do who I would go with in my lineup. Not who Ranić would, but who I would go with. I used to do these videos before with the lineups. Stopped doing them. I'm going to try and bring them back in a bit more. So look out for that dropping at some point, guys. But have a great Christmas, and I'll speak to you guys soon.